Hey, what's up, everybody? I am here to talk to you guys today about the full moon that's happening on October 16th, 2016. It's happening in the sign of Aries and how it's going to affect each sign. So, first of all, just as a collective in general, what does a full moon mean? How does a full moon happen? The full moon is, it's very obvious when you guys look at it in the sky, okay? It is like huge, usually, sometimes like really huge and scary if it's like really close to the earth. And you notice everybody start to act a little bit different. A lot of people, their emotions are heightened. They seem a little bit more agitated, more aggravated, more easily to cry or like overreact in situations. And you'll see people maybe in your workplace be like, oh my God, I'm just having the worst day ever, and like really blow things out of proportion. That's because in astrology, the moon rules your emotions. So we humans are made up of, I believe it's 70% water. Don't quote me on that. I'm not like a completely science and health person, okay? I look at astrology here. But we are made up of mostly water. And if you see how the moon affects the tides of the oceans, okay, our biggest bodies of water here on Earth, it controls and pulls the tides. The moon also coincides with women's monthly cycles. So the moon is very, very powerful, and it does have an effect on us physically as human beings, and also on the physical earth that we live on. So there's physical things that you see happening in front of you, and we are physical beings, but we're also emotional. So the moon does affect our emotions when it is full. So in astrology, the full moon is caused when the sun and the moon are in opposite signs, so opposing each other. Okay, so the sun is like ego and confidence and expression, and then the moon is emotions and comfort, and it's your inner mind, the subconscious thoughts that you have. It's the filter and the perception through which you see the world. It's nurturing and sensitivity. So these things are opposing each other, which is like conflict, okay? And it can cause a tension. That's why you see a little bit more tenseness in everybody as a collective when there's a full moon. So this month in October, the full moon is in the sign of Aries and Libra. The sun is in Libra, the moon is in Aries, okay? Libra energy is like, hey, I can't do anything without a partner. I have to, always be around people and have someone to do stuff with or talk with and bounce ideas off of. And, I really value the opinion of other people. That's Libra energy. And then Aries is the complete opposite. It's like, I just do me. I dive headfirst into stuff. If I run into stuff, whatever. If people don't like me, whatever. I don't care. I'm proud of who I am, and I don't care what anybody has to say about it. And it's a very me first and very head first energy, because Aries rules the head, okay? Now, this full moon is in a conjunction with Uranus, however you guys want to describe it, okay? It's a funny name, but that planet rules the unexpected, the shocking, the rebelliousness, the going against the grain, going against the crowd, weirdness, outer space, and interest in like lots of quirky stuff, and electronics and electricity. So those are just a few things that Uranus rules, and the energy that Uranus can bring is very shocking and unexpected. And pretty much if you have something going on in your life to where you're comfortable in your routine and you have a Uranus transit that zaps you in particular, it can force you to change your life completely around in a 360 from where it was before. It can cause just unexpected things to happen. So when there's a full moon, the energy of it, the effects of it last from 1 month to the next, from one full moon to the next full moon, pretty much. When a full moon happens and there's a planet in conjunction with it, it carries that energy from that planet from 1 month to the next as well. So for each sign, it's going to affect you guys differently, okay? Like all as a collective, we may all have something shocking and unexpected happen, which can be either positive or negative depending upon the rest of your life as a human being. Astrology doesn't define like every single thing that happens to you. It brings a certain energy, and it's up to you as a human with free will, how you act and how you react to it, and what you do, you know, with this energy that's being given to you. Now, another transit that's happening at the same time as this full moon in Aries is Mars in conjunction with Pluto. This energy is very powerful as well. I'm seeing these two things as like causing some really crazy stuff, you know, not to be like a fatalist, okay, when it comes to forecasting and astrology or anything. It's not all bad, but there are some things that can happen that can be a little concerning if you're not careful. So I would say to everybody, just play it safe, because Mars is action, drive, aggression, energy, like physical energy. And yeah, it's what you do with your physical body. It's how you assert yourself. And then Pluto is a planet that represents power, but like a scary power, okay? Like your fears, very transformational energy. It's like really diving deep into things and not accepting the surface level. And it's very powerful. So when the two energies come together, there can be some good things that happen, like you have a laser sharp focus when it comes to actions that you take, or it can mean violence, because Mars is action. Pluto is kind of, it can bring an infliction of pain in your life at times, but the pain is meant to help you to transform. It's meant to, okay? But when these two come together, it can be, I don't know, there can be some friction there. So just in general, as a collective, I would say around this full moon, be very careful, play things safe, try to keep your conflicts under control, try to keep yourself out of conflicts, try to keep yourself out of taking any head first actions without thinking, like doing some daredevil stuff, daredevil stunts, daredevil driving. Just try to leave all of that like out of, you know, this whole week, okay? Like just try to do that, especially on and around the full moon. Just play it safe, play it cool. You know, if you get into a disagreement with someone, you don't have to charge head first and be like, well, I'll show you. This energy is a little bit dangerous for stuff like that, okay? For confrontation, just being completely honest. So try to be diplomatic, lean towards the Sun in Libra energy. Try to be diplomatic. The Mercury is still in Libra during this full moon as well. So there is an energy you can tap into to resolve conflict, or to be neutral, or to kind of just step back. I'm not telling everybody to be a wuss and be like, oh my God, oh, I'm so paranoid and scared of the world and scared to speak my mind. No, but just have control over yourself, rise above a situation, and kind of think before you act, before you speak. All right, so let's go through each sign and how these energies are going to affect each sign. Let's start off with Aries. This is in your sign that this full moon is happening. It's in your first house of the self and the body and the life path. And then the sun is in your opposite sign, which is Libra, that deals with other people and relationships. So Uranus has been in your sign, encouraging a lot of my Aries people to be a rebel. And to kind of rebel against what everybody else is doing and just say, this is me, this is who I am. You need to love me and leave me be. Let me just be my true self. So you can have a breakthrough that happens that really causes you to be your true self, and it can cause conflicts with other people, or other people may be opposed to it, because again, this is opposing energy here with the sun and moon. So you may just want to change something completely about your life. I mean, in any area of life, even your physical appearance. And no matter what anybody else says, you're going to be like, I'm going to just do it, okay? And Mars and Pluto are hanging out in your 10th house of career and your public image. So this can cause conflicts within your public image, you know, whatever this breakthrough thing is that you decide to do. So just be very mindful of that it can cause a little friction with other people and how they see you. But yes, still remain true to yourself, Aries. This is what the full moon can definitely bring for you guys. Because it's happening in the house of the body, you especially need to be very careful. And Mars is your ruling planet in conjunction with Pluto, which can be violent in times, okay? So my Aries people, you guys are a little bit more susceptible to violent acts right now, whether you performing them or other people performing them against you. And I'm not trying to be fatalistic. Once again, I'm just letting you guys know the truth of this energy and what it can do, because I feel like I gotta kind of give a warning about that. But all in all, it can be positive for you to come into a place where you're very comfortable with your true inner self and expressing that out to the world and really not caring what they think about it. For Taurus, this is happening in your 6th house of work and daily routine, and the opposite, which is your 12th house of rest and relaxation. So this is your earthly, physical duties that you have to do versus your spiritual, escaping the world, escaping the physical world type of energy. So the moon is going to be, your emotions are going to be more affecting the 12th house of relaxation and your spiritual self. And your mental health. There can be something that suddenly happens that you realize, like, that shows you that you're out of balance. Okay, you're out of balance in your daily routine and how you take care of yourself and how you relax. So this can mean that you guys find a solution to that. Mars and Pluto conjunction is in your 9th house. So be very careful with conflicts with like foreign people or people who are in charge in like a school environment and things like that. But definitely find a way to take care of yourself. You know, you may all of a sudden want to quit a job because you want to like pursue higher goals, or you just want to like travel around for a little bit, or you may just want to just break away from like the corporate life, okay, and just live a happy-go-lucky life where you travel, you do what you want, you're on your own schedule. You may be craving that. And Taurus is, you know, I'm a Taurus too, and we do crave stability in our lives, but there comes a time where there's like a breaking point sometimes where like we can get fed up with like the rat race, you know, and just being like controlled by that type of lifestyle. So here is a balance, that a breakthrough is going to happen that brings you to a decision to make of how you're going to balance out your life and your daily routine. So that's how it's going to affect my Taurus people. For Gemini, this full moon is affecting your 5th and 11th houses. The 5th house is fun, creativity, and romance and children. The 11th is friends and groups of like-minded individuals. So where the moon is at is in the groups area. You may have a sudden, you know, revelation that maybe a friend likes you as more than a friend, or you like a friend as more than a friend. And Mars and Pluto are hanging out in your 8th house of deep transformation and deep soul bonds. So you can form a soul bond all of a sudden very quickly with somebody who you find in a like-minded group or within a friendship. And it can transform your life in like some crazy ways. I'm just telling you. I'll just give you a fair warning. Be very careful when it comes to friends and money during that time. Like if you have some friends that always borrow money from you and, you know, may become a little codependent, when the full moon comes around, you may just want to cut off that friendship. Okay, because Mars and Pluto in your 8th house is other people's money, but that can mean, you know, people may try to drain you of your resources, your financial resources too. So be very mindful, be very careful when it comes to friends and money around this full moon. For Cancer, this is happening for you guys between your 4th and 10th houses, which is home and family life versus career and public life. And then we have Mars and Pluto in your relationship house. So I would say be very mindful and careful of conflicts within the workplace and also within your home and family. You know, you may want to make a career decision that the family doesn't agree upon, or that, you know, your significant other doesn't agree upon. And Mars and Pluto is very strong energy in your house of your significant other. Just try to avoid conflict with them. That gets too out of hand and too out of control. But you know what? This breakthrough energy of the full moon and Aries in your 10th house of career, it just may make you just not be as like a people pleaser when it comes to your relationship. Normally Cancers are very sweet and giving and nurturing, and you guys want that long-term strong relationship bond, but this can be kind of a make or break situation that comes up for you guys. And whatever decision is made, remember the full moon is calling you to be true to you. Okay, so even if you've got to let go of a relationship, Cancer, it can be painful, but you know what? You have to be true to you and be on your true path in life, and make your mark in the world. You guys are normally very homebound, homebody people, but don't forget that you can still make a mark out there in the world and reach a lot of people and be a caring, nurturing person to a lot of people, and have a great career. You still deserve that, Cancer. Okay, you can be a great person at home and a great person within career, but there's a conflict there that you have to balance out. For Leo, this full moon is happening between your third and ninth houses. The third house is siblings, it's communication, it's traveling short distances. And the ninth house is education and travel and seeing the world in a more broad point of view, not just the day to day, like stuff that happens that changes very quickly. No, you see the big picture. And then the Mars and Pluto conjunction for you guys is happening in your sixth house of the work environment and of health. So how this adds up to me, you may have been working so hard that you become a little bit stressed out and want to get away from work. You may just suddenly want to travel and see a better opportunity. You know, Mars in your sixth house can have you working overtime. I've seen that a lot with people having that transit. And, you know, when this full moon happens, you could be like, you know what? I'm working so hard at this job and it's not really paying me what I deserve. So I think I will seek out a further opportunity. Maybe you may leave a job for a great opportunity. Maybe you may just quit and just start traveling for a while if you can afford to do that. Or maybe you may decide to go back to school to get further certifications or education so that you can move up to a higher position or to a better job, a better opportunity. One last thing for Leo, Mars and Pluto together can be kind of an aggravating energy to your health. So I would be very, very careful with that, not to overdo things like working out, like diet. It can maybe affect, you know, your health in a way that does more harm than good. Okay, so don't overdo it with the health stuff around this time. Definitely try to maintain good health and go after, you know, fixing problems within your health. But all of it is speaking to maintaining a great balance. So that's how it can affect my Leo people. For Virgo, this full moon is happening in your second and eighth houses. That has to do with finances. The second house is the money that you earn from your hard work, from like a job or something, getting a paycheck pretty much. And then the eighth house is the money that you receive from other people, whether you share joint finances with a partner or you receive some sort of inheritance, alimony, child support, insurance, taxes, benefits. All of that stuff is the eighth house. The eighth house also deals with codependency, you know, depending upon other people to take care of you and those type of issues. And then the Mars and Pluto conjunction is happening in your fifth house of children and your business and romantic partnerships. So I would say with this full moon to be very careful when it comes to money and children, or money and people that you're casually dating. Virgo, you like to lend a helping hand to people. So maybe you start dating someone casually and it's all fun, and then they start like asking to borrow money and saying, oh, I need help with this and that, poor me, woe is me. And Virgos, you guys like may grumble about it a little bit, but you do like to be helpful to other people. So try not to let someone take your kindness for weakness, because that can result in some conflict for you guys with this full moon. As far as a positive of this full moon for you guys, this can mean like a sudden inheritance. Maybe you have a business that you're running, which is the fifth house where Mars and Pluto are working very hard. And then you have like your earned income or income that you earn with a like a business partner. All of a sudden, because Uranus is involved, it's sudden stuff. You guys come up on a creative project, a creative thing to incorporate into your business, and it generates like boom, all of a sudden like an increase in income for the both of you, or for, you know, you and a partner, or you and a business partner, or you and a marriage partner, whoever. So some sudden windfalls can happen for you with this energy. For Libra, this full moon affects your first and seventh houses, which is you, which is Libra, the self, the body, the life path. And then Aries, which is your relationship house. And then the Mars and Pluto conjunction is happening for you guys in your fourth house of home and family. So Libra, what I see here is the possibility of you suddenly maybe breaking things off within a relationship, and family is shocked, and it transforms your family life. It angers and upsets your family for you to break up with someone. Or maybe you suddenly start dating someone and you're like, I just picked them, you know, they may be different. They may be not from the same background as you, or just completely like you just met them in a flash. And then all of a sudden you're like, we're an item, we're dating, you know, and we're in love, or we're getting married, or we're engaged already, or something. And then your family just does not agree with it. at all for some reason, and it causes a conflict. On the positive side, hey, this brand new breakthrough with a relationship can be fun and positive for you and something fresh and brand new for you. So it can be exciting, and then they can totally change like your home life, your home dynamics. Maybe someone suddenly moves in that you're in a relationship with. Maybe they suddenly want you to move to another state or country or something with them. But yeah, definitely something within the family dynamics will change, as well as relationships will change. So Scorpio, this full moon is happening between your 12th and 6th houses. The moon is in your 6th house of work and health and daily regimes. And then the sun is in Libra in your 12th house of relaxing and getting away from the world and escapism and spirituality. The Mars and Pluto conjunction is happening in your 3rd house, which rules siblings and also short distance travel and skills that you learn, and also rules your logical and rational mind and thinking. So what I see here is some of my Scorpios may come to a breaking point, just like your opposite sign Taurus, a breaking point to where your mind is just like, I can't take this ish no mo. Okay, I can't take it anymore. Maybe with a job, maybe you have a sudden change of job because this full moon is happening in your work environment. Maybe something changes in your work environment as far as like coworkers and the dynamics around there. Like people get fired. Maybe there's a hiring spree that they have, and they bring all these new people in, and things just change. And because your 12th house is involved of, you know, your subconscious mind, maybe it kind of bothers you on the inside, you know, all this change going on. And then Mars and Pluto hanging out in your 3rd house of communication. I would say be careful to not have something kind of explosive happen to where you blow up within the workplace at a coworker or rebel against a boss or an authority figure. Because your mind can be a little bit more on the aggressive side with the Mars and Pluto right now, okay? So don't get yourself fired over running your mouth. Scorpions, I'm a Scorpio rising, so that's why I say we tend to bottle things up and keep things to ourselves a lot. And then we can come to a breaking point to where we just just like spit out all this scorpion venom on somebody, and it can be unexpected. So don't let that happen to you, especially not in the workplace, to where it can cause you to lose your employment suddenly and unexpectedly. This can be a great energy for sudden changes within the work environment that are positive for you. Once you get over the shock value, it may be something that's good for you. For Sagittarius, this full moon is happening in your 11th and 5th houses. The 11th house is groups of friends and organizations that you belong to, and groups of like-minded individuals that you bond and converse with. And the 5th house is like fun dating, casual relationships, and also your business and your children. So the Mars and Pluto conjunction is happening in your 2nd house of earned income, the money that you earn from like earning a paycheck. Now, you guys are another sign, just like your opposite sign Gemini, to be careful with friends and money. Okay, don't mix friends with money when it comes to this full moon, because it can end in some sort of conflict. You guys are also another sign, another energy that needs to be careful when it comes to like lovers and money as well. You know, with meeting somebody and dating them, and then all of a sudden like money is, you know, a factor. They start asking you for money or wanting to borrow, or you may want to do that towards another person. Just be careful with that. It can cause some conflicts for you guys with this full moon. So Capricorn, my Cappies, this full moon is super important for you guys because it happens in your 10th house of career and your 4th house of home and family. So the full moon and Uranus are bringing some sudden change within your home environment, and also your career, your public image is affected as well. And then the Mars and Pluto conjunction is in your sign. So it can be that you want to transform yourself into a powerhouse, and your family doesn't really agree with it. And it can cause something suddenly to happen within the family where, you know, just being honest, it can cause a conflict there. Okay, that's the negative side of this energy if you let it go there. The positives are, you know, maybe you have this great career advancement, and suddenly you're like, you know what, now I make enough money to where we can move. Okay, we can move to a better house that we can rent or buy or whatever, you know. So you suddenly sell your house because you become such a powerhouse, you know, within career. Mars and Pluto energy in your sign gives you so much like physical power and endurance and strength. And I would say take advantage of the energy that way, but really try not to be too overbearing and too overpowering when it comes to your family, okay? Because you may cause a family member to suddenly want to leave if you are overdoing it with the power stuff, okay? So I would say those are the things you need to be mindful of. Aquarius, this happens for you in your 3rd and 9th houses. The 3rd house is the house of the mind and short distance travels, and then the 9th house is like higher education, expanding your horizons, broadening your horizons, seeing the world from like a really opportunist point of view. So Mars and Pluto are in conjunction in your 12th house. With this full moon and Uranus happening in your 3rd house, Uranus is your ruling planet. So the full moon coming in conjunction with it can bring about more like Aquarian energy for you. You guys are very think outside the box. You guys may do things that shock people and that go totally against like what the norm is and the traditional is, okay? So this may suddenly cause you to have one of those like super Aquarian moments in life where you just say, F it, I'm just going to change something really big, you know, or I'm just going to change the way that I do a certain thing. I'm going to change and just suddenly up and travel to another country, you know, for whatever reason, because the 9th house is foreign travel and the 12th house is far away travel from like completely like far away from where you're from as well. So Mars and Pluto there might like have you be obsessive, have an obsessive drive towards getting away, okay? So you may want to get away from the mundane world, the regular, you know, day-to-day life. I would say be very careful with conflict between yourself and siblings with this energy, because the full moon is in the 3rd house that rules siblings. So a sudden conflict with a sibling can come up for you. Something may suddenly change in the life of your siblings as well. Some people might wonder what's gotten into you, Aquarius, like why the sudden wild hair up your butt that makes you travel to like the country of like bing bong bang that nobody's heard of, you know. But hey, you know what, this is an energy of breakthroughs, of being true to yourself. So I would say as long as it doesn't harm anyone, go for it. But just letting you know, there may be some people that disagree with that. Last but not least, for Pisces, this is happening in your 2nd and 8th houses, which deal with money, earned income, and then joint income or supplementary income that you receive from a partner or from the government or from inheritances or insurance, yada, yada, yada. So the Mars and Pluto conjunction happens in your 11th house of friends and groups. You're another sign, Pisces. You're very giving. You can sometimes be giving to a fault, but you need to be very careful around this full moon as far as mixing money and friendship. You are another sign that has to do that, along with your opposite sign of Virgo. Don't mix money and friends around this time. Please do not, Pisces, because it can kind of blow up in your face. And Uranian energy can cause some sudden explosions of things that maybe a little unexpected and shocking to you, okay? So friends and money, not a good idea. This can be a good thing for you though, this full moon, because maybe you've been working hard amongst a group of like-minded individuals at, you know, gaining and earning some money, and then finally like this sudden like breakthrough happens because the full moon is in your 2nd house of earned income, to where you guys, bam, eureka, we have found the answer to making a lot of great, you know, money. Maybe you can find, you know, a better job, a better way of earning money, and maybe because you have a great group of friends that gave you a recommendation or maybe a referral. But yeah, just be very careful with friends mixing with money during this full moon. All right, so that was it for this video regarding the full moon in Aries on the 16th of October. I really hope that you guys can make the best of this energy. Like I said, it is a little crazy and, you know, some unexpected things can happen, but sometimes surprises are good though, you know. Sometimes it can bring you just changes that push you into a different direction in life that ends up being very positive, and the changes may take some getting used to, but you know, overall it can be Very good for you to get out of your, step out of your comfort zone, step out of the norm, step out of your shell or whatever, and see the world from a different point of view, you know, from a different perspective. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you in my next video.